Are coding interviews unfair? I know that this is a question that I've thought about a lot over the years, and I see it get asked by a lot of other people, and it's a valid question. Why are you asking me to reverse a linked list when I'm going for a role that's building out front-end UI components? Why are you asking me a dynamic programming problem when you guys have never used that in your own code? Why are you asking me these difficult problems that I know a lot of engineers at your company probably won't even be able to solve? I remember an engineer from Google was talking and he was like, yeah, if I tried to get a job at Google today, I would probably fail. And I'm glad I got a job when I did because the bar was a lot lower. Because even if you're a really good engineer, you might not do well under pressure. I can't really think of a time where I had to solve a problem within 30 minutes or less. I mean, I've had coding deadlines, but I had time to think about the problem. I had time to research it, and there wasn't someone there watching my every move. And I know that sort of pressure can throw a lot of people off. I think a lot of these companies get away with asking these types of questions because they have so many applicants that they really can have the pick of the litter. Anything that they want to ask, they're going to be able to find one person that can solve that kind of problem. There are people who just dedicate themselves to solving these specific niche, because that's kind of what it is. It's a niche. These niche of data structures and algorithms problems. They might not even be the best engineers from a practical point of view, but they spend day and night solving leak code problems so they can get an offer from a FAANG company. We also have to ask ourselves, why do these companies ask these types of problems? And it's really because it allows them to uniform their interview process, because they have so many candidates with different skill sets. It would be impossible to tailor each interview for each candidate. And they don't want to ask about specific frameworks because they might be missing out on a potentially good candidate that doesn't know that specific technology, because he or she would probably fail that interview. But they really are just focused on, hiring the smartest person. And I did smartest in air quotes because what does smartest really mean? I don't know. You tell me. So yeah, there are a lot of opinions whether or not this is the best way to vet a candidate. I personally think that it's a flawed process, but I also understand why they do it that way. But I know a lot of people who hate these kinds of interviews. And, I won't knock you for that. You're totally entitled to your own opinion. But guess what? No one's going to feel sorry for you. I remember when I had an interview once and it was hard to understand the interviewer, I let the recruiter know, hoping that I could get another interview. And they were like, oh yeah, we'll let you know. And I never heard back from them because they don't care. And you can feel sorry for yourself all you want, but at the end of the day, somebody else got the job because they were able to solve that problem and you weren't. They were willing to put in those hours grinding out, learning data structures and algorithms problems, while you were maybe out, drinking during happy hour or binging Tiger King on Netflix. They were putting in work. And I'm not saying don't go out and have fun. You definitely need to have that time to de-stress, but just know that if you do it too much, there's going to be someone else out there outworking you and winning. And, if you do feel like it's unfair, maybe this isn't the role for you. Maybe you should try something else. You can maybe hope that you get an interview where they don't ask you these types of problems. Maybe they just ask you to build a project. But in my experience, that's pretty rare. And if you are just banking on that, well, honestly, you're not going to have a good time. Or better yet, you know what? Go start your own company. Seriously, if you want to guarantee that you don't have to do another interview, go ahead and do that. That's definitely one way that would work. And what I see happens, and I know that I'm guilty of this myself, is you start making excuses. Oh, it's not my fault. It's the interviewer's fault. They asked me a really weird question, or they had a really thick accent. Well, guess what? This is engineering. You're going to get people with heavy, thick accents. If you're doing an interview and you can't understand someone, ask them to repeat themselves. You're going to be using a shared doc, right? If you're writing code, ask them to type what they're saying down if you don't understand them. There's definitely steps you can take to mitigate this. So yeah, to wrap it up, are these coding interviews unfair? Maybe. Either way, does it really matter? I don't see any of these companies, at least the big ones, changing their interview process up anytime soon. Why would they? It's been working for them for years. So why would they switch things up now? And like I said before, when they're interviewing so many people, they're just going to create like a standardized test. It's kind of like the SAT, right? Some people might be really smart, but they might just be bad test takers. But with the SAT, you have things like your grades that can compensate for that. When you're interviewing, you only have one shot to prove yourself. So it is what it is. But I promise you guys, if you put in the work, things will become easier and the opportunities will come. And trust me, guys, I've been studying coding interviews for years now, and I've tried so many different resources and I've done so many different interviews that after a while, you just don't really get nervous anymore. And honestly, with most coding problems, it's really just like learning, it's just figuring out one trick, oh, I need to use this specific data structure. And then the rest of the problem is pretty easy, actually. And, after a while, after you've seen so many problems, you realize that there are only like a certain amount of types of problems you see. Like I rarely go into an interview now and see a type of problem that I haven't seen before. So yeah, I know it sucks, but it's a process that you have to go through. And once you go through it and you get out on the other end and look back, it's really not that bad. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover in this video. Let me know in the comments if you guys think that these, data structures and algorithm interviews are unfair, or let me know if you guys would have a better suggestion. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions, but that's all I wanted to cover. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys smash that like button. And until next time, happy coding.